Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Well, I'm sure you are doing well. I'm not sure if you are still feeling well from the moment that I will reveal you what is the title of today's Tutto Sport front page. Allarme Chiesa, Alarm Chiesa. We'll speak about Chiesa, and I'm sure that you will start being a bit scared, that you will feel some fear, and you're probably correct. And then we'll go towards the middle of the video about another news that can give you back a bit of a smile, because we have a fresh update about Romelu Lukaku, not further away from Serie A, but further and further away from Juventus. And towards the end of the video, of course, latest update about the possible lineup. There could be a change that will make some Juventini also happy. So a lot of good news towards the end of the video, so remain until the end. Thank you. And that's something I really want to say. For the people that are waking up in the morning, they are preparing themselves an espresso, a coffee, and then they open the YouTube app and they are opening the channel. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So continue if you want to put a maximum of like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel if you didn't yet, because now we are ready to start. Bad news, good news, we start. So Tutto Sport, as I told you, Allarme Chiesa, Alarm Chiesa in this morning's edition. Well, to be honest, yesterday, during the live with Romeo Agresti, the latest from Agresti, I already anticipated a bit the front pages, because I was starting to feel in the air that something could alarm all Juventini when I started to read that Mo Salah from Liverpool could possibly be sold to Al Ittihad for a big money, and also him already giving his green light. And I was starting to think logically, if they sell Salah, they have money. If they sell Salah, they miss a player. If they sell Salah, they will probably look at home of the Bianconeri, and which is the player that could possibly go there and be transferred, and probably also say why not, is Federico Chiesa. So during the live with Romeo Agresti, I asked him about it. He was yesterday here, and you know it from yesterday we started. He will be not a guest but a resident on the channel every single Thursday at 11 p.m. Italian time. So if you didn't know yet, if you couldn't yet, put it in your agenda, put a reminder, because you don't want to miss these lives that are just epic and fantastic. You know what he answered yesterday to me, or at least what was the reaction of Romeo Agresti? Well, watch this small teaser. Speaking about Chiesa, I will shoot immediately. Mo Salah. Maybe,
no, I don't want this question.
You know the question, huh?
Yeah.
Do we have to be scared? Liverpool jumping on Chiesa with a big... because we know it, huh? If they cash in for Salah, they will come. And I believe he's totally correct, Romeo Agresti, with that question. I don't want to hear about it, because we know it. Federico Chiesa is Juventus. How many times do we need to repeat it? He is Juventus. It's a player that we are counting on, that we don't want to see going away. When we were speaking about the big players potentially moving from Juve, or at least one, between Bremer, between Chiesa and Dusan Vlahovic, a lot of people said, not Chiesa. Then we can discuss about the other ones, but not Federico, because again, he is a Bianconero. He's the one that we waited for more or less 18 months after his ACL. And now that is showing really signs of being again the Chiesa that we wanted, that we were waiting for. And no, because an Italian player, a young player, a guy that is playing with his heart, with passion, a guy that is able to make us stand up from our seat when we are watching the game, with his acceleration, with his change of movement. The message that I want to send to Juve today, if they are watching, Giuntoli, if you are watching, Manna, Tognozzi, Max Allegri, or whoever you are, resist. That's the title of today's thumbnail, Resist Juventus. Because if you told me that you could not do something else than selling Chiesa on the 1st of June, on the 10th of June, maximum of the 1st of July, I will tell you, worst decision ever in my life. But if we have to, we have to. And I had time to overcome that news, to digest that news, and probably Juventus would have had time with Giuntoli to go for a potential replacement of Federico Chiesa. But today we are the 25th of August. It's the birthday of my brother. I know you don't care, but I wanted to mention it, so happy birthday to my brother. But not only it's the birthday of my brother, it means that we have only 6 days before the end of the Mercato. Where do you find a replacement of Federico Chiesa, especially after what he was able to show us in Udinese Juve, after him needing not even 2 minutes to score the first official goal of the Bianconeri, after him playing with that intensity, admitting as well that he was loving the new way of playing of Juventus. You just can't. You just can't. So what is the danger there? That Liverpool, if they cash in a lot of money for Mo Salah, well, they will have a lot of money to spend. 60 million euro could be the offer that they can give to Juve. We know that the financial state of Juventus is not perfect. We know, let's not lie about it, that Juventus always kind of admitted that one big player could potentially move, but not today. So my recommendation is not today. But why are we still speaking so much with insistence about Federico Chiesa? It's also because some other players could potentially not leave Juventus. Who are these players? Well, we are speaking about Dusan Vlahovic, and I will tell you in a second why. Now that we have Dusan Vlahovic and Federico Chiesa from the start playing in duo in that new 3-5-2, and looks like they are even able to find themselves a bit better than in the past, well, we want to keep them. But keeping them doesn't mean that we are happy and everything is fantastic and that we will be happy with the performance of what they did last year. Because of injuries, la pubalgia, coming back from ACL, because of the way that we were playing and so on. No, we will ask more. Because if last year they were able, like Gazzetta dello Sport is saying, to score 14 goals in total in all competition, even less, because if we are speaking about Serie A, that is 12 goals in total, so 18 in all competition, 14 for Vlahovic, 4 for Chiesa. In Serie A only it was 12. That's not enough, especially because Juventus had scored only 56 goals in 38 games. So what is Allegri expecting? What are us supporting expecting from this duo if both of them stay at Juventus? Well, at least 40 goals. That's the target that we want from us. If Allegri said that Federico Chiesa is a player that should score 16 goals this season, and he already started well with 1 goal, well, Dusan Vlahovic, if you do the math, needs to score at least 24 goals. Something that I would be really happy about, because if both of them are able to reach 40 goals, well, let's put 40 goals and divide them between Rabiot and the other players of the team. Goals of a defender, Bremer, Danilo, and the other ones. So let's see, maybe Dean Huijsen, if he's able to play and come on corner kicks, his speciality to go in with his header. Maybe, who knows? But that would be beautiful. Well, maybe reaching 80, 75 could be a really beautiful score for Juventus. Let's see. But it's not over, because now we are speaking about both of them. But the question is, what about Lukaku? Because we spoke so much about Lukaku. Will we continue to see a topless Lukaku on Gazzetta dello Sport? Yes or no? That's a big question. Well, apparently he's further away from Juve. So, Lukaku topless linked to Juve? Probably not. But Lukaku linked to Serie A team? Probably yes. Today we have the news from Matt Lau that is telling us Chelsea is in talk with Roma to send Lukaku on loan after the striker dramatically decides he does not want to move to Juventus. That has forced Chelsea into rethinking over a loan option. Attenzione. What do we learn this morning? What do we read this morning? That Lukaku, after being every single day on Corriere dello Sport, and that he wanted no other team than Juve, refusing Inter, refusing Saudi Arabia, refusing every possible destination, now he dramatically decides that he doesn't want to join Juve anymore. Why is it? Because Juventus is convinced about Dusan Vlahovic? Is it because Chelsea didn't want to increase the offer of Dusan? Is it because Juventus said, you know what, at the end, a bit too old, we are not sure, they changed their mind? Or is it really because Lukaku this morning, he woke up and he said, you know what, I don't like the Bianconeri anymore. No, I don't like anymore. We will never know. And I tell you the truth, I don't care. Because him not going to Juve is actually keeping us a Dusan Vlahovic, what I told you a few minutes ago, which could be a really fantastic news. A fantastic news if Juventus is also able to resist for Federico Chiesa, because keeping Chiesa and keeping Dusan Vlahovic on top of Gleison Bremer and other players, Rabiot for example, don't forget about Rabiot, that could be an immense victory today on the 25th of August. So I'm happy, but on the other side, of course, I am still scared. I am still scared, not only that Lukaku can still change his mind tomorrow with Giuntoli and Allegri that are still convinced about him. Not really that one, but I'm scared about all the other things that can happen, because we know it. We have a new player on the mercato, that is Saudi Arabia. Look what happened yesterday with Gabri Veiga, that is going to Saudi Arabia after agreeing everything with Napoli. Napoli was already celebrating the most fantastic new young generational talent after refusing to sell Osimhen. After keeping Zielinski that said no to Saudi Arabia, they were celebrating again with the fireworks like they won the Scudetto, that De Laurentiis is a fantastic president that was able to steal Gabri Veiga from Saudi Arabia and from all the big competitors like Liverpool and so on. And at the end, no, because they put the money on the table and that's what they did. And the player is not going to Serie A, but to Saudi Arabia League. So attention, because everything can happen. Like two other names on the striker market. We are speaking about Moise Kean, that wants a bit more playing time, that is on the market now with a value of about 25-30 million euro. If Juventus is able to sell Moise Kean, doing a bit of plusvalenza there, and then changing it with Alvaro Morata, well, Morata would be more than happy. We already spoke about it yesterday or 2 days ago. Morata has been parked to Juve. He already gave his green light. Of course, Atletico Madrid, when they renew his contract, they put a clause of 21 million euro. Will Juventus go on the market and negotiate with Atletico Madrid to decrease it? Or will they be able, if they sell Moise Kean, to pay cash that clausula? Big question mark. Big question mark. Look, if you tell me to choose between a scenario, Federico Chiesa leaving for Berardi, or Lukaku arriving for Vlahovic leaving, or you tell me Morata coming back for Moise Kean, well, I choose a third one. Every day I tell you and I repeat you that Morata for me is a closed chapter. That it's a player that I appreciate a lot. Human perspective, I really love him a lot. It's a player that I don't want to come back. But if really you give me the options, 1, 2 or 3, of course, saying goodbye to Moise, I will be a bit sad, but on the end, I will survive. And having Morata back, that I'm sure that will give not 200 but 300% on the field for the Bianconeri, why not? But again, it's not over, because we also have to think about exit strategy. And if there were a lot of talks this summer about Mattia Soulé not remaining at Juve, well, today there are new offers or new interest for Mattia, for the Argentinian player. Fortuna Sittard is interested in the player, and then you have also Lecce and Frosinone. If Juventus can't sell him because he's on the market, and Juventus would prefer to sell him permanently for 10-15 million, if they can't sell him for that price, well, probably they want to loan him out, but then not go to Eredivisie on loan or whatever, but then in Italy, so that Juventus is still able to monitor him without having to travel too much. Caio Giorgi, closer and closer and closer and closer, also to Frosinone, where there is already Barrenechea. Pay attention to Frosinone, because we know the relationship between Enzo Barrenechea and Mattias Soulé. If both of them, together with Caio Giorgi, could go to Frosinone, well, my second team will not be Salernitana anymore, where I was thinking that half of Juve would play to on loan, but it will become Frosinone. So attenzione to that deal. Union Berlin yesterday, exclusive here on the channel with Romeo Agresti towards the end. That was fantastic, because he gave us an exclusive news. He said, if in Germany, they already said that even today already, Bonucci could travel to Germany to do some medical visits, well, he said, attenzione, because there are maybe some complications. Not that it collapsed, but Bonucci is taking a bit more time, because he's still wanting, probably, to discover if some Italian team last minute will go on him, because he would prefer to stay in Italy, so we are not sure. What we know is that Juventus will not reintegrate the player. I told you my priority, instead of speaking about strikers, would be to go for a right side player. And the right side player could potentially be Holm, but not before Monday. Now we full focus on Juve Bologna, and from Monday on we will continue resuming the talks for Holm to Juve at the deadline. Now the big competitor, of course, is Atalanta, that already had a meeting with the entourage of the player, with Spezia. So let's see if Juventus will be able to enter that discussion, yes or no. And we finish, of course, with what I promised you, the most important thing actually. Who will play on Sunday against Bologna? pay attention. Bologna, I watched the game against Milan. They lost 2-0 with at certain moments Milan that was really destroying them, but they are much stronger than an Udinese that will not do really well this year in Serie A. Bologna that is strong that we will have to pay attention to, and that's why a player like Federico Gatti, with his aggressivity on the first one that is having the ball offensively from Bologna, could be an option, and that's what they are talking about. I'm still hesitant to see Gatti and Wea on the right side. Maybe it's totally unpopular and not even logic, but if Gatti would start, which is not 100% sure, I would try a Cambiaso on the right side, and maybe asking Chiesa also to move to the right side, because doing like that you surprise totally Bologna that is expecting again a 65% playing time on the left side. You shift all that power to a Gatti, Cambiaso and Federico Chiesa on the right side, with on the left a Kostic and a Dusan Vlahovic that is going to that side. On the left side, a bit more defensively, you have a player like Danilo. So let's see what will happen. I'm really curious. Otherwise, the only one that is fighting for a spot, a starting spot, is Fagioli, that yesterday Romeo Agresti confirmed that he was doing already much better. At the moment, it's still Miretti, Cortomuso that is winning that spot. But again, we are Friday and we are playing on Sunday, so everything can happen. Also, seeing Paul Pogba having his first minutes of Juve game 23-24 in an official game could be, if the score is allowing us at the end of the game. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed that video. A long one. No, it's average one. But a lot of news, especially Chiesa, Lukaku. Let me know what you think, what you are feeling, what you are most happy about. This morning I want to read. So let me know. Grazie, forza. Juve.